The governor has revealed a mistake at the Motor Vehicle Commission with registering people to vote, a mistake that added about 6,600 non-citizens to that state's voter rolls.
The governor said the error in the software at MVC offices by a contracted vendor was corrected in 2024, a year after it happened.
Initial analysis shows that fewer than 400 newly registered individuals voted in an election due to this software error.
Dang.
I have said this over and over and over again, and I believe it to my core. We are not in the practice of releasing personally identifying information to the federal government right now, given that the Trump administration continues to weaponize it against people.
All right, guys, we have a lot to get into today. Welcome back to the show. As we saw, guys, New Jersey, they just admitted they have found so far 6,600 illegal voter registration in their voter rolls.
We are also following some breaking news out of New Jersey, where the governor has revealed a mistake at the Motor Vehicle Commission with registering people to vote, a mistake that added about 6,600
I don't think it was a mistake.
non-citizens to that state's voter rolls.
In the case of this error, some individuals indicated that they weren't citizens and weren't eligible to vote, but the software registered them anyway. The error in the software was corrected a year later in June of 2024. That is more than 2 years ago. I learned of this last Wednesday, and I immediately ordered my chief counsel to launch a comprehensive investigation.
Now, Governor Sherrill just outlining the situation in the past half hour. She says it looked like about 400 of the non-citizens may have actually voted. We, of course, will bring you much more on Eyewitness News, first at 4 and on ABC 7.
Shocker. All right, guys. We're told that this was not happening. Our elections were absolutely, completely secure, and this was just a conspiracy theory from that crazy MAGA people. Now, 1 week after Trump's speech on election integrity, when his administration released files on potential voter fraud, New Jersey, all of a sudden, they come out and they have to admit that there were 6,600 illegal voter registration and that up to 400 actually voted in their elections. By the way, voting in an American election, knowing that you are not a citizen and you are not allowed to vote, well, that's a crime. So even if she wants us to believe that these applicants clicked, "I'm not a citizen," they still knew that they should have not been voting. Now, will New Jersey do the right thing and prosecute every single case? Probably not. We know they won't do that. This has always been part of the plan. There is a reason, guys. There is a reason why sanctuary cities allows anybody to get a driver's license, and then that person gets automatically added to the voter rolls. Just with a push of a button. Yes, I'm a citizen. So of course they have to hold a press conference. They got to make sure and get ahead of this story. As you can already see, they're pretending like they're the ones protecting election integrity. They want to double down and say it's Trump's fault. He's the one that's undermining elections. But what we need to remember, this happened 2 years ago, right? But it was still under Democratic control. You sometimes just can't make this stuff up. Of course, they're not taking the blame, so now they're blaming it on a system error.
New Jersey Governor Mikie Sherrill made a stunning revelation. The Democrat says thousands of people who indicated they were not U.S. citizens were able to register to vote in elections. As Christine Sloan reports, the state has now launched an investigation.
New Jersey Governor Mikie
They're
Sherrill
launching
says
an investigation into their own error.
were able to register to vote at Department of Motor Vehicle Commission offices, even though they said they weren't U.S. citizens. The Democrat says it happened because of a software glitch between June 2023 and June 2024, before she took office.
Initial analysis shows that fewer than 400 newly registered individuals voted in an election due to this software error. They were registered as Democrats, Republicans, and the majority unaffiliated.
Sherrill says the individuals in question were removed from voter rolls and the software vendor has been replaced. The revelation comes after President Donald Trump's claims that 250,000 people are illegally registered to vote in 4 states, including 35,000 in New Jersey.
Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens
who knows?
and
Who knows how many there really is?
are listed and active on the voter rolls.
First there was none.
There's any validity
now there's some.
he's saying?
There obviously is.
New Jersey Republicans demanding an outside investigation, some calling for a temporary halt to motor vehicle voter registrations.
I have no reason to believe that the Sherrill administration
Yeah, the
has any more
Democrats aren't going to do
credibility
that.
than the Trump administration.
We had a sense that things like this could happen between the mail-in ballots and between, driver's licenses for illegal immigrants.
Donald Trump has zero credibility on the issue of election integrity.
A political analyst says the error's been caught, and that shows elections are secure.
It didn't affect a race for governor. Those margins are all bigger than that.
Some of our elections are really low turnout, some determined by 1 or 2 votes.
Yes.
Could something like this have determined an election incorrectly?
It's possible. We just don't know until we know where these voters were registered.
Christine Sloan, CBS News, New York.
And the White House did release a statement saying, in part, this latest incident underscores the absolute necessity of the Save America Act. American voters deserve to have confidence that our elections are safe and secure.
All right, guys, after watching that, this is why we need to pass the Save America Act. This is already an 80-20 issue. Every Republican, Democrat, everyone wants to see a more secure election. Now, I'm going to be serious here for a moment. How can we really trust the Democratic Party? They say it's not happening. Then, when it's revealed that it is happening, they pretend like it's not a big issue. Only a few hundred out of the 66 actually voted. And are we really surprised that this is happening when you can get a license in a sanctuary city? And as long as you click that button saying that, yes, I'm an American citizen, the state then mails you out a ballot. Every single election, you get a ballot, whether you're illegal or legal. And sure, that may not change the outcome of a presidential election. I would agree there. But we all know that it can change the outcome of a local election. You don't need that many votes to persuade an election one way or another. Think about it for a minute. If you can control the local elections all the way up to the highest power in the state, then it would seem more likely that there is a reason blue states are controlled by Democrats. There must be a reason why that happens, and it almost feels like it's rigged. Oh, and I also love how the political analyst says the error was caught, and that proves the elections are secure. Really? This happened 2 years ago. It was never caught. It wasn't supposed to be caught. And then when he is asked, could this error change the outcome of an election? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. It sure can. So, is the governor focusing on securing the elections? Nope. The governor would rather focus on making sure the illegal immigrants who were wrongfully registered to vote from the big bad Trump administration.
I have said this over and over and over again, and I believe it to my core. Public service is a privilege, and it is a responsibility, because when you don't act in the way you are hired to act, then people can get harmed. And right now, in an administration that have proven themselves all too willing to target vulnerable communities, including our immigrant community, we now have certain people that through no fault of their own have been registered to vote. It may imperil their immigration status.
Do you guys really believe this?
Different things.
Do you really believe what she's saying? This is a great spin.
But that is the responsibility of the people that worked for the MVC that knew that this was going on and did nothing to remedy it. That's wrong. It would be really the utmost in hypocrisy for the state to charge them when it's our fault. However, I would not put it past the federal government, so we are working very hard on ways in which we can protect people here in the state of New Jersey. We are not in the practice of releasing personally identifying information to the federal government right now, given that the Trump administration continues to weaponize it against people.
Oh my goodness, give me a break. These people, all they do is blame the Trump administration for everything. And I'll give her an applause. That was great spinning of the situation. The governor is right about one thing. When you don't act the way you're supposed to act, and you pretend that immigration communities are constantly under attack, then yeah, what you're selling to your voters is that you're always protecting the poor and the marginalized community. You know, if there's one thing that the Democratic Party is great at doing, is creating every type of marginalized community. They're able to create these communities and then act like they're the only ones that care about them, labeling the other side the big bad America. She even says that they didn't even know it was just an error. So because it was just an error, no one should go after these people, including the federal government. She even points out that it's their fault, the Democratic Party's fault in the state. But what she's forgetting to tell you is that although it was an error that these machines made them, yes, they're American citizens, that they can vote, you know, sure, I'll give her that. But the illegal immigrant still voted, knowing they're not an American citizen. She's literally trying to blame, oh, it's our fault, not their fault. No, it's their fault. They knew they shouldn't have voted, and they should be held liable for it. Again, guys, sometimes you just can't make this stuff up. Now, let's watch this final clip about what this means for election integrity.
Governor Mikie Sherrill makes a bombshell revelation regarding New Jersey voters as President Trump continues his push to secure elections. One America's Bailey Broadwater explains.
A serious software error within New Jersey's Department of Motor Vehicles led to more than 6,000 non-U.S. citizens being registered to vote. That's according to Governor Mikie Sherrill on Tuesday. She says the system error happened between June 2023 and June of 2024.
When New Jerseyans applied for a driver's license or identification at the MVC, they were asked if they wanted to register to vote. In the case of this error, some individuals indicated that they weren't citizens and weren't eligible to vote, but the software registered them anyway.
Approximately
do you guys believe her?
6,600 non-citizens were said to be registered, with preliminary evidence indicating fewer than 400 individuals cast ballots.
They were registered as Democrats, Republicans, and the majority unaffiliated, and were scattered across the state.
Sherrill emphasizes while this happened well before she assumed office, this is unacceptable. The governor said the vendor responsible for the system will be replaced and vowed to take several steps to address the issue.
We're sending letters to the people impacted by this error, and we will remove anyone from the voter rolls who may have improperly registered. And my team is taking a hard look at the process failures that occurred under the previous administration and the guardrails we can put down for the future.
However, she fell short of promising any election reform, rather criticizing President Trump for his efforts to secure elections. An independent investigation into the software error is currently underway. Bailey Broadwater, One America News.
Yeah, guys, so what do you think about this story that just came out? You know, I feel like on one side, we are constantly told that there are election issues and our elections need to be more secure, while on the other side, they just say everything is fine, the voter rolls are secure, and that there is no election integrity issues. Yet, when President Trump makes a speech about election integrity, he then releases documents that show we do have some major voting issues in our country. New Jersey, a Democratic-run blue state with sanctuary city policies, they have to come out and admit that they had 6,600 illegal immigrants registered and that 400 actually cast a ballot in our American election. Okay, guys, so what else do we need to know in order to pass the Save America Act? It's it's clear as day why this needs to be passed, but I can also see why the Democratic Party is so against it. The thing is they don't care that this is an 80-20 issue. They do not care. 80% of the country wants it, 20% doesn't. This is all about staying in power by whatever means necessary. But that is just how I feel. Now, I want to know how you feel about what just came out. Is this the proof that we've all been waiting for? And if you happen to lean more Democratic and you're still here watching this video and you're not upset at me, go ahead, leave your comment down below. I want to know exactly how you feel. Do you feel like you are told one thing while something else is actually happening? Or do you agree that this was just an error? So make sure and leave your comment down below. I'll make sure and stop by and read it, guys. And so this is the end of the videos. And if you're still here, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, guys, remember, America is worth fighting for. We need to defend our country and save our values. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video.